What's up, everyone? It's Karthik with MoneyVest. So Nvidia continues to sell off. It's now down under $109 a share, down a little bit over 2.6%. I'm actually just getting ready to sell puts on Nvidia. Selling puts is a bullish position. Just want to be very clear. I know I got a lot of comments in my previous videos. It's time to buy Nvidia. Why are you trading puts? I'm selling them so I can actually buy at lower prices, and I will be sending out alerts in our Discord because I do believe that it is coming down to some reasonable levels. Of course, nowhere near close to my fair value just yet, but still, selling off a little bit over 22%, still in a bit of a bear market. And I do believe that $96 is going to be that next technical support where it's going to be down over 30%. Now, Siggraph 2024 started yesterday. We did have Jensen Huang talking along with Mark Zuckerberg from CEO Meta, also discussing. I watched both of those clips. They were both 1 hour each. And in this video, I'm going to summarize some of the key highlights, as we already know that Nvidia is at the forefront of providing significant amount of compute power when it comes to generative AI. And there was a lot of mention of artificial intelligence and the capabilities of Nvidia and how it fits in the overall ecosystem when it comes to AI, because every single company in the world is going to be powering AI. They're going to be using artificial intelligence in some shape or form, and Nvidia is going to be at the core of every company's functionality when it comes to artificial intelligence. So that's what we're going to discuss in this video. I do believe that Nvidia coming down over 20% from its all-time highs, selling off potentially down to 30% if it ends up at $96 a share, is going to represent some opportunities to start dollar cost averaging into, or starting a new position, or selling some puts. So do not waste these opportunities, because this is the long game that we're playing here. I mean, this is a game that is going to be meant for tens of 20s of years in the decades to come, because this is literally only getting started, and the curve for the future is not linear. It is quite literally exponential as technologies take over. Nvidia, still a fairly new company. It's been around for over 30 years. In my opinion, still has a long way to go, along with, of course, a lot of other technological developments and advancements we're going to see. Now, one more thing I want to mention is that today is July 30th. If you want to get access to our entire MoneyVest platform and take advantage of the entire comprehensive fundamental analysis, technical analysis, you can come over here, take a look at your favorite stocks, do your full breakdown, full analysis on those companies. So, for example, Nvidia right now trading down to $108. We've also added live quotes as well as pre-market after hours quotes as well, down almost 3% on the day. You can also take a look at the earnings calendar, which is also going to be available for everyone to access. PayPal's earnings are also reported available, and these are all the companies that are reporting later this week. You also get access to all the members-only private videos, as well as the trade alerts and trade ideas, also available with the link down below. There is a 51% discount available until the end of this month, as well as a 16% annual discount that does expire at the end of this month as well. So link's going to be down below. We'd love to have you on board. So first things first, let me just summarize some of the key takeaways from the Siggraph 2024 event, which happened in Denver, Colorado. Happens, I believe, almost every year. It started back in the 1970s, and it's been a very, very big event for Nvidia. It's, in the past, Jensen Huang mentioned that this was an event mostly focused on computer graphics, but over time, it has, of course, progressed to generative AI as well, especially after, ChatGPT came out in 2022. That's when artificial intelligence and chatbots and just AI has taken off like wildfire, and many industry researchers and professionals have figured out how to use AI to learn almost everything. And when we talk about everything, not just text, but also images, videos, 3D, just a lot of composition when it comes to physics and chemistry, coding, programming, everything, so that now AI is pretty much integrated in all parts of the world, right? It can fetch information, it can create information, it can create a lot of things, it can transform a lot of things, and that's why artificial intelligence has quite literally been game changer for the overall world here. And Jensen Huang says that everybody in the future will have an AI assistant. Every single company, every single job within the company will have an AI assistant. But even as generative AI promises to amplify human productivity, Huang said that accelerated computing technology that underpins it promises to make computing more energy efficient. And that's kind of like their earlier goal, is to make everything more energy efficient so that we're not putting on too much load on the current system. So accelerated computing helps you save so much energy, 20 times, 50 times, and doing the same amount of processing. So the first thing we have to do, he says, and I quote, as a society, is to accelerate every application we can. This reduces the amount of energy being used all over the world. Nvidia also announced a new suite of NIM microservices tailored for diverse workflows, including OpenUSD, 3D modeling, physics, materials, robotics, industrial digital twins, and physical AI. And these advancements aim to enhance developer capabilities. In addition to that, Shutterstock has also launched generative 3D service, while Getty Images has upgraded its offerings using Nvidia edified technology as well. And in the realm of AI and graphics, Nvidia has revealed new OpenUSD NIM microservices and references workflows designed for generative physical AI applications as well. And this includes a program for accelerating humanoid robotics development through new NIM microservices for robotics and simulations and more. So a lot of it was obviously very technical. Jensen Huang mentioned that 90% of the people at Siggraph in the audience were PhDs. So that is, again, very, very high levels of education, especially when you are going to school for science, for technology, for chemistry, for engineering. So again, it got very, very technical, but of course, at the same time, it was explained in a very, very nice sort of practical and applicable way, because we're using AI on a very regular basis, right? We're using artificial intelligence in our phones, in our computers, in our day-to-day lives. So we have experience with the day-to-day application of this level of technology. And the world's largest advertising agency, so WPP, is also using the Omniverse-driven generative AI for Coca-Cola Company, helping drive brand authenticity and showcasing the practical applications of NVIDIA's announcements or advancements in AI technology across various industries. And that's what Jensen Huang also mentioned, is that when they are planning to enter a new industry or a new vertical, to open a new market, they have to compute a lot of data. They have to compute and make sense of a lot of different data points in order for it to make sense to kind of fit AI within that industry, so that it opens it up to that one particular new market. So the opportunity for NVIDIA, of course, is limitless, right? Because they're going to be utilized in almost every part of every business in all over the world. And all these advancements build on one another, right? So robotics, for example, requires advanced AI and photorealistic virtual worlds where AI can be trained before being deployed into the next generation humanoid robots. Huang explained that robotics requires 3 computers, one to train the AI, so one computer that's going to train the AI, the other one that's going to test the AI in the physical simulation or the physical world, and the one which is going to be inside the robot itself. So those are the 3 computers needed for robotics itself. And just about every industry is going to get affected by this, whether it's scientific computing, trying to do better job predicting the weather with a lot less energy, to augmenting and collaborating with creators to generate images, videos, or any type of virtual scenes for industrial visualization. Robotic self-driving cars are all going to be transformed by generative AI. And visual computing, simulation, and large language models will compete and come together simultaneously to create digital humans who can help interact with digital systems of all kinds. I mean, this is kind of like the next age future that we're talking about. And he finally says, and I quote, one of the things that we're announcing here this week is the concept of digital agents, digital AIs that will augment every single job in the company. And so one of the most important use cases that people are discovering is customer service. In the future, my guess is that it's going to be human still, but AI will be in the loop. So those are some things that I feel like very much next generation, of course, next age. The future of technology is very much AI is at the core of that future. And, for that reason, obviously there can be a case made for both for and against artificial intelligence and how useful or disastrous it could potentially be. But it all comes down to, I feel like, moderation. And it all comes down to control. Because I have a very strong belief that everything in moderation can be okay. Of course, we're not going to extremes, but most things in moderation are okay. Whether it's sugar, something as simple as sugar, or just fast food, or something as simple as screen time or your social media, everything in moderation can be very useful and can enhance your life. But once taken to an extreme, can really be very detrimental to your health, whether it's mental, physical, spiritual, whatever the case might be. So just like artificial intelligence, I feel like there's definitely going to be a lot of pros and a lot of things that are for artificial intelligence going for it. And it's going to definitely improve businesses, improve lives. But then there's also the other side of the story where a lot of these advancements in technologies can put a lot of people out of jobs, can be detrimental to the social well-being, the society and how it functions, the jobs market, the productivity, everything is going to change, in my opinion. Like, this is actually going to change the entire world, I mean, moving forward. And there was another very, very interesting interview or podcast that I was watching earlier, where this is the first time in history where the next 20 years are very unpredictable, right? The next 20 years, not a single engineer or not a single programmer or technology visionary can really figure out what the next 20 years are going to look like for the world, because of how fast things are moving and how quickly things are developing, right? We don't even know what type of technologies we'll be using 5 years from now, right? Let alone 10, 20, 30 years from now. Right? So the companies of today are really, really adapting, like, very, very quickly. That's why you're seeing such significant increases and decreases in market caps and value, and such a significant transactional in the marketplace, is because things are evolving so fast. Of course, Nvidia is at the top of the food chain right now when it comes to providing with all this artificial intelligence and providing with a lot of knowledge base and just the engineering piece of the entire puzzle here. But 5 years from now, if they don't continue to adapt or they continue to create, there could be another player or another player or another company, right? So it is really going to be interesting what the next 5, 10, 20 years look like for the entire world from a more technological standpoint, from an AI standpoint. But Nvidia, coming back to the market, coming back to stocks here, Nvidia, of course, selling off more aggressively on the day, now down over 4%, and selling off from its all-time highs, now down a little bit over 24%, very much clearly in a bear market. It's taking down the markets with it, I believe. S&P is again flat on the day, and the NASDAQ here, QQQs more specifically, are going to be down. NASDAQ's also flat, but QQQs are down over 27 basis points, and Nvidia's next support really is going to be down at $96, $97 per share. But everything that Nvidia is doing and they announced does not change the fact that Nvidia's got a very, very strong and bright future moving forward. Because if you come over to Nvidia, and let's just look at what analysts are forecasting for the company long term, come over to analyst estimates. Of course, we got a strong buy on the company, absolutely zero sells, high price target of $210, low target of $50, and an average target of $138. We've got a very strong growth rate expectations of 25 to as much as 26% for Nvidia by 2031, 2032. So, let's say that we assume for a 25% growth rate over a 7-year period. Let's say that we want to analyze for 7 years and we grow the company by 25%, right? And we give them a P multiple of that's close to 30 or 35. Let's just assume 30 times earnings multiple, 10% margin of safety, 12% discount rate. Let's just do a share buyback of 1%. Every single year. If you hit calculate, arrive at a fair value of close to $75, right? $75, and this over a 7-year period growing at 25% is not easy, because we're looking for net income to go from 24 billion. That's actually share count. Net income to go from 37 billion to 142 billion, which is possible, because then, if you're operating at a 40%, 50% net margin, profit margin for the company, that means the company is generating over $250 billion in top line revenue, which for Nvidia over 7 years is very much possible. It is a possibility. And then, of course, earnings per share to go from $1.53 to over $6.19, and a future price target of $185 a share for the company. So that would be a 7-year target. And if you assume for, let's say, a different numbers here, let's say a 30% growth rate and a 35 times P multiple, and then if you hit calculate over a 7-year period, now Nvidia would be undervalued at $116 with the fair value, and the future price target of north of $285, which is going to almost triple from where it is trading at the moment. And the net income at that point will be almost $200 billion, with the top line revenues expected to be well over $500 billion for the company over 7 years, which again is a possibility. But those are very, very aggressive expectations, right? So if you want to be a little bit more conservative, I would go with a 25% growth rate, which I think Nvidia is possible to do in the next 7 years. Or I can also go with a 5-year expectations of 25% and go with a 30 times PE multiple. Again, same buybacks of 1% for the company. And if you hit calculate, now we're looking at a fair value closer to $60 and not $75. So the $96 per share that I have is a technical support. And that's a level that I'm comfortable sort of starting to sell a put. I'll most likely be picking a $95 strike put for Nvidia. And the lower it gets, the better it's going to be. And the next support really is going to be down here, aligned with this previous support that we validated from back in April of this year. So we essentially sold all the way down to $75. This is again on a post-split adjusted basis, down 22% before ripping to new all-time highs over 88%. So that would be the next level to watch below $95 a share. So first level is going to be $95.96 down to as low as $76. And at that point, we'll be down over 46%. Resulting in a pretty decent buying opportunity for Nvidia for the long term. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and what do you think about Nvidia? As always, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Again, limited spots left for just a few more days with a 16% annual discount available until the end of this month. If you want to get access to the entire MoneyVest platform, do your own analysis, run your own estimates, and of course, do a lot of really cool things with the platform and do your own stock analysis. So link's going to be down below. We'd love to have you on board. And as always, happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.